This review contains spoilers.
Hi, my name is Stereo Mike.
Yeah, we got 3 tickets to the Brand Van concert.
All right, we're live.
And we're back.
Another episode. Welcome back, boys and girls, to Nothing in Moderation. It is I, Senor Noah. Noe? I think that's...
Me llamo Senor Jade. How's it going, buddy?
It's going. I talked to you about the tire.
Well,
scenario
I gotta
and-
say, form was really good.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. It was
Thank
a
you.
lot of fun.
I loved being in it. It was, I told you with every show that I do, I get a big case of imposter syndrome and I feel like I don't belong there. And then everybody's like, dude, chill out. You're good.
Katie Huffman herself was
Katie Huffman herself was like, no.
You've been fine, Noah.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was a really cool experience getting to just do a big musical in that space. It's just really awesome.
Should we plug it?
Yeah, we'll plug the show. It's already come and gone.
It's always.
Yeah, but
Funny
no,
thing happened on the way to the forum.
It was awesome, and I got to make new friends and connections and a lot of really talented people in Jax. So
You did really well.
it was
The funniest part
great.
was trying to get home and when I was trying to get back onto the freeway and I see this pickup come behind me and it's you and you're
It's
like,
me, yeah.
you lost, buddy. You
lost.
You lost there, stranger. I thought you were like a guy that was mad at me because I was driving like a maniac. I'm not good at driving.
I saw you pull over, and I was like, "Oh, I think he needs help. I think he needs help getting back on his way."
I thought it was. I turned prematurely. Anyway, it's the story of my life. I don't know if you realize this. One of the other people, the other guy that we went with, our good friend Matthew.
Yes.
Shout out Matt. Went with
Matt
us. And his Tesla was like right behind me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you were right behind him. We had a little caravan going
Yeah,
for a
I think
while.
what happened was you guys went through 301, and I took the toll road because it was technically faster to just use the toll road than to go on 301. Which
Yeah, but he kind of followed me like the rest of the way. But he never
That's so
passed
funny.
me. I was like, he was in his Tesla. Just go around me, dude.
He was
I
making
know
sure you
can
got
beat
home
me.
okay.
That must be it. Because he saw me driving and he was like, oh, this
man.
boy's not going to.
Yeah. Oh,
He's not that good.
love you, Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Love you, buddy. Yeah, but what's been going on with you specifically?
Things have been good, man. Rehearsals have been well. I need to work on singing.
Yeah,
I think I'm off. I'm in.
you'll get there, man.
Should we play it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Evil Dead, October 17th through November 9th at the Across Town Repertory.
I love how we're always gonna preface our theaters that we perform at as the Gainesville
It's not
Community
just
Playhouse
or the.
Yeah.
It's the.
the Artist Connection Theater.
Yes. Oh yeah, you should plug that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
your
I'll
next
be
big
in Emma, the Artist Connection Theater, October 10th through the 27th. That is going to be very fun. My first
Get your tickets, meow.
my first Jane Austen production.
Maybe you're only.
Maybe I don't know if they ever come across me with Pride and Prejudice or Sensibility.
You just have a
then I'll-
period face.
Do you think that's what it is?
You have a period voice.
Well, a lot of those Regency era men did not have beards like this,
There were a lot of them were clean shaven.
or they had just the chops.
Are you going to shave?
I hope not. I mean,
You should.
I should.
Well, at least keep the
I'll
maybe
ask
something.
Kristen. I'll ask Kristen.
So the sideburns you could keep probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Keep some sideburns.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, like
Hello, master.
Chris is in the show, I think, but I think he can rock not having a goatee.
Judd
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
He's Emma's dad,
Oh, that's awesome.
Mr. Woodhouse. So
That's great.
we were very happy when we found out we were both in it. And I was like, yes, sorry, I have somebody that I can confide in.
That's awesome.
But I guess yeah. Other than that, I've just been playing Metal Gear.
I thought you had given up video games for now.
Well,
You're back in it.
if Metal Gear anything comes out, I'm
Nice.
going for it. So
Hell yeah.
It's been awesome. What else? Oh yeah, I went to McDonald's today and I went to McDonald's today and I ordered my food and they forgot my fries. And it was already
That was
past
it?
the point of no return.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and it sucked. Yeah. I was like, I mean,
Well, if that's the worst thing to happen to you this week. I think
yeah,
we're okay.
well,
No.
yeah, this week, yeah.
I know. Well, on that tragic note, maybe we should bring up.
This is never. No matter what we do, this is not going to be a clean transition.
No, it's
No
not.
matter what
It's
we
really
do.
not. Yeah. Let's go from losing fries to the Holocaust.
The Holocaust.
Oh, man.
God
Sorry, folks. This isn't going to be a. I promise after this isn't going to be a joke.
We're gonna bring
We're going to bring it down.
we're gonna bring the silliness way down.
Yeah. This is serious.
But yeah. So
Here we go.
Pull up my notes as I usually do.
What's the movie today, no?
Today, we're going to be discussing The Pianist. Released in the year 2002, it was directed by Roman Polanski, with a screenplay penned by Ronald Harwood, and based off the book by Władysław. I always get it mixed up. It's
Władysław Spielman.
Władysław Spielman. The film stars Adrian Brody, Amelia Fox, Mikhail Zabrowski, Ed Stoppard, Maureen Lipman, Frank Finlay, Jessica Kate Meyer, Julia Rayner, and Thomas Kretschmann. Yeah, a bit of a departure from Predator, for sure. Not a bit, maybe a big departure from Predator.
I think those two movies have that is the biggest jump.
Talk about the absolute jumping of the shark the list did.
Yeah.
Thanks, Siri. I remember watching this movie for the very first time in high school. I want to say it was my senior year. I hope it was my senior year because, folks, this movie is it is dark. It is drab.
At the time, did you think it was dark?
You know what? Well, when I rewatching it, I forgot how violent the movie is and how raw of an experience it was.
Did you have to watch it for a history class?
I watched it for history class, yeah. Because we got to that part in the book. And so it was time for us to watch a movie that reflected that era of time. And so, yeah. But there were moments in the movie that I remembered very vividly after coming back to it, where I was like, oh yeah, I remember this clear as day, for sure. But then there were other moments where I was like, oh, I totally forgot about this, and we'll get into it later. But yeah, it's an experience for sure. Do you want to get into the summary? I wrote a summary.
I can't wait. It's my favorite part.
I really love writing the summary for the movie because it gives me an opportunity to sort of make sure that I was paying attention.
That's true. We're gonna find out.
Yeah, so in 1939, the Nazis invade Warsaw, Poland, and the lives of its citizens are swiftly changed. We follow Władysław Spielman. I'm probably going to keep
Władysław.
It's Władysław.
Okay. Kind of.
I thought the L was supposed to be a W, but maybe that's incorrect.
I think it's fine either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Władysław Spielman, a Jewish citizen of Warsaw, as he navigates his war-torn home just to try and survive as long as he can. His journey is filled with the horrors of humanity's darkest moment, but it also shows us the will and determination of the human spirit, and that the light can shine through even when things are at their most grim.
Beautiful.
I think it's an apt description of the movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess give me your high-level thoughts.
My high-level thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you want to do the theme yet? Because I think you summed up the theme in that last sentence of the summary.
Okay.
Could you read that last part, the last sentence again? That just last little bit.
Yeah. His journey is filled with the horrors of humanity's darkest moment, but it also shows us the will and determination of the human spirit, and that the light can shine through even when things are at their most grim.
I think that's the theme.
You think so? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. I don't think that what I wrote down, what I think the theme is like the only one, obviously.
Well, no, and we're going to cover it because I can't wait to hear what that is. But
yeah,
because like he doesn't like live through he survives through this movie.
Yes,
Władysław
for sure.
Like it's and the whole movie. There are times where it doesn't feel like a movie. No, did you notice that? Like it was like you were in it.
Like the very beginning. It just feels like, boom, you're there. And what I loved about the movie on a pacing level is that it doesn't stop. It keeps throwing things at you.
It keeps going. Yeah.
And that's because that's probably how it felt for these people at this point in history.
for us, it's a 2-hour movie. For them, was 5 years.
Right,
which
exactly.
is crazy to think about. Can we talk about Poland real quick? Can we talk about history?
Yes, please take it away.
So I think Poland got the worst of World War II.
Yeah, for sure.
They were invaded first, so they were occupied the longest. And then when they are finally freed, quotation, they get freed by the Soviets and then become a communist country for the next 40, 50 years, which doesn't end until 1989 with the fall of all that. So they the Poland, the war, like Warsaw was totally obliterated.
Right.
So the Poland that, like, we'll never know what the old Poland was like in terms of, because spoiler alert, I used to live overseas. I've been to Poland, and it's a beautiful country. Yeah, and it's probably the best of the Eastern European countries that made it went through communism. Yeah, which I think is a credit to like Polish people. They're very durable. You know what I mean? They're survivors. Right. And it's truly amazing what they've gone through and how they've come out on the other side. And they're, because it's probably never going to be the same as what it was. Yeah. But for what it is now, it's a very good country. It's great.
I noted that at the very beginning of the movie, the significance of it is to show you how quaint and beautiful it was before everything went to hell. Yeah. Because it shows you the archival footage, and then it shows you, I guess that I didn't do any research into whether they shot on location or if some of it was on a set, like if it was a recreation. But they show you both, and they show you the stages of that, specifically the shot. Of the person on the cross. Is that Jesus?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. But they show you the one shot in the archival footage of Jesus on the cross, and then show you that same landmark as time goes on. And so, I mean, it very much wants to show you like how things just ended up.
Yeah. Agreed.
But did you have anything else to say about the history of Poland?
I think we'll keep going. I think that covered.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll start with what I think is the main theme of the film.
Yes,
at least
hear yours.
To me, I think the main theme of the film is that pure evil is unknowable. And what I mean by that is because I wrote that the hatred that the Nazis wrought upon the Jews is something that is like inexplicable. Though we have tried to attach an explanation or reason to why the Nazis treated the Jews the way they did, the truth is that we can never truly know why they were capable of being so heinous. It's
interesting. And I think you're right. That is a major theme in the movie. But did you know that like a lot of Poland before the Nazis invaded were anti-Semitic? Like Jews were all over Europe, really, for being real. That's one of the reasons they were able to do a lot of what they did, because there was a lot of anti-Semitism in these places. It was just the Nazis coming to power and making this a thing.
They enable that.
They enabled a lot of people to be like, yeah, we can do this now.
Right. Yeah. I did not know that. Yeah. I thought that.
And it existed after World War II. Like there was still anti-Semitism. I mean, so.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely still exists for sure.
Exists.
So, which is I guess it's a topic for a different podcast entirely, but
yes. Or a totally different kind of podcast.
A totally different kind of podcast for sure. But yeah, it's, because throughout the movie, there are so many moments where you just see this regime just completely brutalize this group of people. And it just makes you wonder, how does a human being do that to another human being? And, we've seen characters in other movies do things like that. Like I think about Anton Chigurh and No Country for Old Men, and how is he able to just do these terrible things?
But that was a fictional character.
Exactly. But
there were people that actually existed.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that makes it scarier to know that people like that are real and that they existed, and they probably do still exist. But that's what I gathered as like the main theme of the film. And I do think that another big theme is that, even though things can get very dour and dim, that eventually things will come around. And as defeatist as I guess my read on the movie is, it's I do think that there's two sides to the coin.
There's still a triumph.
Yeah,
There's still
exactly.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I can tell you part of the reason why because you have to think that Nazis did that because they thought the Jews were subhuman. They thought they were, I think it was Untermensch.
The Ubermensch. Is that what you're thinking of? The
Ubermensch might be superhuman, like the
Okay. So
I think
so
it's either Unter or anyway.
So this is the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the Aryan, which is Uber. I believe Ubermensch, and then the Untermensch is the subhuman.
Okay.
And I mean, when you don't see these people as human, then you can feel you can do whatever you want, because they blame like World War I. After World War I ended, one of the main reasons the Nazi Party came to power was because they were like, we have to have a scapegoat of why we lost. We didn't lose because we were losing. We lost because we got stabbed.
Somebody else.
Yeah, it was, and it's called the stab in the back myth, or theory from them, that the Jews and Bolshevism, also communism, caused them to lose World War I, and that's when things started to escalate. Because you got to think, when Germany's economy was awful after World War I, like they were burning paper money, because it was worthless. Mm-hmm. And so in like those times, you're like, you need to look to somebody that can save you, right? You need to be like, oh man, we got to get out of this somehow.
And they were like, this guy who, I mean, great orator. Like people have like studied his speeches to see how he was able to move people, right? And it's he had a silver tongue. He did. He had a silver tongue, and people have like talked about when they like one-on-one, he was very good at talking to people, and he surrounded himself with people that, a lot of yes men, right? And that just hyped them up, and it's fascinating, dude. It is very interesting to see how a society like that, they just so willingly just like allow themselves to be taken over by a regime like that. Yeah. Yeah. And man, I don't know. I want to get political. This is a hard movie to talk about, for sure. I don't want to get political about this, but I mean, you can see some of it in, I'm not comparing any of this to like Nazism, or I'm not comparing Trump to Hitler or anything like that. But like, I think that's probably one of the reasons that like Trump won him, is because people were like, we need someone that can rise above it. Right. Right. So it's, history has a way of just, it doesn't always repeat, but it sometimes rhymes. It's interesting. Yeah. It's cool to me. Do I go? My brain immediately went to George Lucas. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or sort of like poetry, it rhymes. Yeah. We promised each other that this wouldn't be a very jokey episode, but sometimes just a couple slips. It just happens. No. I guess we can get into the cast before we get into the actual meat of the movie, because, there's really only two people that from this cast that I know, and that's Adrian Brody and Thomas Kretschmann.
Oh yeah, three for me.
What was the other one for you?
Frank Finlay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know him super well. Yeah.
Well, let's go. Yeah, we don't have to go through too many of the people. No. I will say, maybe we should also talk about Roman Polanski for a minute.
Yeah. So I know there's controversy with him, but I don't know the specifics.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Roman Polanski's been through a lot. He was actually a Jew. He lived through the Holocaust. So this was a very personal.
I did read about that. Yeah. This is his most personal movie.
Yes. This is like, a lot of it was true to life of what he went through, what he experienced. That's a lot of the reason that this movie feels so real. With that being said, his wife, Sharon Tate, was murdered by the Manson family. Yep. Okay. Yeah. And then it must have been very hard for him. After that, he makes Chinatown, and then after that, which is the controversy, he like raped a 14-year-old girl in 1977, and before he could be indicted, he fled to Italy, where the age of consent is 14. And that's why they shot this movie in Europe. He's never been able to come back to the United States because of that. And what's interesting, and you can take this however you want, but he did win the Academy Award for Best Director for this movie. Okay. It wasn't there to accept it, obviously.
Right.
But, there is a moment where you got to try to, I don't know. Is this a thing where you separate the art from the artist? Because it's a very good movie. He's a very good director.
Well, I mean, I
think he's a very good person.
Yeah, I think about that a lot when it comes to like Kevin Spacey. Because obviously like the controversy that he was involved with.
Definitely a creep.
Yeah, definitely.
Great actor, though.
But there are movies that I watch where I'm like, but I mean, he's great.
Yeah.
And I can't deny that he's great.
Yeah.
I could continue to say that he's not a great person, but as an actor, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and you hear about how certain people to work with in Hollywood aren't great either, but you kind of have to look at it at face value and just go, well, is the work that they put into it, is it good? And is it like worth considering as like art? And I think for the most part,
so if you're an asshole, but you make good work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, think about like, no, wait, what did you say?
David O. Russell.
Oh yeah, David O. Russell. Yeah.
See the fucking line. Don't give me stuff.
Well, I mean, and I think about like someone like Michael Jackson too, where it's like clearly something was going on with Michael Jackson, especially in his later years, and made legendary music.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you kind of can't avoid the things that people say about him, and you kind of have to, and it sucks for somebody like him because he's dead. He can't defend himself.
Right.
But with somebody like him, you kind of have to look at it like, I mean, like on the way here, I was listening to Billie Jean in the car. I'm like, it's a great song.
It's a great song.
Fantastic song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a messy.
Yeah. We're by no means defending any of these people.
No. We're just defending their work.
And I think he should. I think he should be in jail, to be honest. But he's not, and he made this movie, and it's a powerful movie.
Yeah.
And it probably should have won Best Picture that year.
What were the other nominees that year?
Well, what one was Chicago, the musical.
Oh, okay.
Not as good, in my opinion. I've seen both. I don't think it's good as this, to be real.
Would you consider
Lord of the Rings 2 Towers was also easy one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, have you seen productions of Chicago like on stage still?
No, just that movie.
Okay,
yeah. So
great music.
Yeah, it's a good musical. I like it. I like Chicago, but I don't think it's quite like this. I think
this is you could call this Oscar bait. It feels Oscar bait.
That's true. And I think about it, maybe they were trying to move away from, I mean, Chicago's kind of Oscar baity too, but I think they were trying to move away from the historical epics, because during the 90s, it was like all the Best Picture winners were period pieces.
Right.
Like Saving Private Ryan didn't win, but like it was nominated. That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Shakespeare in Love, The English Patient. These are all like period pieces. And I think maybe some people were like, okay, we've had enough of like the...
Speaking of The English Patient, sorry. My mom, I was telling her that we were doing this movie, and she was like, oh, is that the one with Ralph Fiennes and he gets like hurt and they like, and I'm like, nope.
No, Ray Fiennes is not in this
Sorry,
movie.
Mom, to call you out. I'm sure you're listening to this.
Love you, Mrs. Stevens.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Yeah. But we do not defend the director of this film, nor the actions that he committed.
No. We're eventually going to have to do this all over again when we do Chinatown because that's on the list. But
yep.
Anyway, as for Adrian Brody, the youngest Oscar winner, the youngest Best Actor Oscar winner, he was 29 when he won.
And a very infamous moment attached to this win.
Yes, dude, yes. Yeah. I think he did all that, because we might as well go into this now. Adrian Brody really like almost killed himself for this. Doing this role, because he's method.
Watching the movie, you're like, fuck, holy shit! Like,
and I think they shot the last couple scenes first. They shot him when he's like, and then they reversed from there.
I'm gonna save it.
Go ahead.
No, we'll save it because I want to save that for the very end.
Okay.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. What he did was he like locked himself in his apartment, broke up with his girlfriend, like
holy shit,
got rid of his phone. Like all this stuff to
get that sense of isolation.
Exactly. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. This sense of loneliness and isolation.
Because there is a point in this movie where he is completely alone.
And I mean, it comes through great. And like it's man, it's crazy when he went to.
I couldn't even and I can't even we're actors and we we haven't done anything to that extreme of like.
I never plan on doing
no, and I don't either. I feel like it's just it tears you apart. And you hear stories about people like Daniel Day-Lewis and you think about like, man, what is it like, how much mental anguish like can you go through to like do a role like this? And like, I know for me, like I'm gonna go up there and do my thing, which is pretend that I'm in the situation that I'm in and like just, but I feel, different strokes, every actor has a different way of doing things. So for some actors, they feel like that they have to go to that place.
They have to become
and stay in that place. Yeah. Right. And so, and they feel like that they have to continue being in that place throughout the entire production too. So
yeah. I'm not sure I think because there is a difference between living like the character and living as the character. Right. Like Daniel Day-Lewis went out for Last of the Mohicans and like lived in the forest and all that. But he wasn't Hawkeye. Right.
You know
he was Daniel Day-Lewis out there.
He wasn't Natty Bumppo. No.
Yeah. And, so it's people like Jared Leto that give method acting a bad name. And they are the Joker all the time.
We're going to have the Jared Leto conversation one day.
Someday. But yeah, can I tell you a cool Adrian Brody story?
Yes, please.
I know someone that knows him personally.
Oh.
I used to work at a gym here in town, pretty fancy gym. And one of the guys that would come that I would train was close friends with Adrian Brody's mom.
Oh.
And like one week he told me, oh yeah, I called up, I talked with Adrian Brody today. I was like,
that's so funny.
I'm sorry. He was like, yeah. His mom called me up and Adrian was there and he had just got nominated for The Brutalist.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about that movie? Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I heard it's super good.
We should put that on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister raves about it. And so, and so he had just been nominated for that, and like apparently Adrian like talked to him and talked to this guy.
Funny. Just having a casual conversation,
but like apparently he hadn't worked for like a year before that.
He seems very very picky with
I believe it.
The stuff that he does, and what was the biggest thing he did after that? I guess King Kong. Right after this,
King Kong.
Yeah.
He did some Wes Anderson stuff, but that wasn't.
He's always with Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Not saying that as an insult. No. We're Wes Anderson fans here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think he's underrated. I think he.
I think everything that I've seen him do, I'm like, this is
he has
fantastic.
Very sad eyes.
Yeah,
he has naturally sad eyes.
I think he's very good at doing those melancholic.
Yes, he doesn't. Yeah. He's not one to do.
I couldn't see him. Well, I could see him in a comedy because I think
he
about
made the Darlene Unlimited with Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
Is it Darjeeling?
Yeah, he's very funny in Grand Budapest. He's
but very dry. Like he's not over the top, which is about probably the only way you can play it.
Yeah. What happened to Boy with Apple?
One last story about Adrian Brody. So one thing about Adrian Brody is that when he was up and coming, he was in a movie that we should also put on the list called The Thin Red Line. Have you heard of this movie?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yes.
I've heard of it. Yes.
It's Terrence Malick, famous director.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a huge deal because Terrence Malick hadn't made a movie since Days of Heaven in the 70s, which was a highly acclaimed movie. Mm-hmm. And we should put that one on the list too. Okay. Write it down. And so like this Thin Red Line has like a who's who of actors of the late 90s. It has like you name it: Woody Harrelson, George Clooney,
Jude Law.
Was he in that? I'm probably, dude. Like, if you name an actor, a young actor in Hollywood, he was probably in that movie. And Adrian Brody. So, if Thin Red Line was based on a book, the main character from the book was played by Adrian Brody in the movie. Okay. And this was going to be his big breakout movie because the hype behind it was huge, right? So during editing, Terrence Malick switched the main character. They edited out a bunch because they shot a lot, but they edited out almost all of Adrian Brody's for his part. They cut him down to like a minute.
Wow, that's not.
And made
that's fucking nuts.
Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in Passion of the Christ, they made him the lead in the movie.
What?
Total 180. It's
That's
crazy.
so fucking crazy.
And Adrian Brody didn't know that until he showed up at the premiere. And the reporters were like, so who do you play? And they were like, he was like, "What? I'm the lead." And they're like, "What?" And
imagine
which is a brutal. Can you imagine?
Yeah, imagine how fucking pissed he was.
Oh, dude. And I wonder if that like had fueled him. Like that, maybe that's the reason he goes like all out. He's like, "I'm never gonna let that happen to me ever again."
Right.
You know. But
it's probably why his moment on the Oscar stage when he won.
he was
probably like, I think he was probably like.
Should we explain the moment we're talking about for the people
let's
that
go
don't?
ahead. Yeah.
Do you want me to?
I'll let you do it.
So, and my theory is that he did all this just to kiss Halle Berry. He went through all that method stuff just because he was like, I have to kiss Halle Berry.
he like looked into the future and was like, Halle Berry will be on that stage.
Because they do the last Best Actress winner introduces the next.
Oh, okay.
Does she win for my ass.
What does she?
She won for Monsters Ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's just funny to think about that. He was like, all right, I have to
have a plan.
Anyway,
I'm planning this.
Yes. But long story short, when he was announced, Halle Berry announced the winner and Adrian Brody won and went on stage and like full on
laid one on her.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
And it's pretty famous moment. And they recreated it, I think, not long ago, like a red carpet.
Really?
Yeah, I think maybe that's what they have to do every time they see each other now.
Do you think? Yeah, I was about to say.
Like Halle Berry and Adrian Brody just have to.
Because I don't know what their relationship outside of that is.
As far as I know, they weren't friends.
I bet you they got real close after that.
I don't know. Maybe they never talked to each other.
Not real close. I mean, like in an intimate way. I think they probably
like
just became really good friends after that. I would assume that at that point you probably have to be friends with them.
Maybe I don't know. I wonder if she felt a little like
she was probably embarrassed for sure. She was probably really embarrassed. But I mean, like, you know, it seems like there's no bad blood between them, and I'm sure that I'm sure that maybe she was like, oh, he was just really excited that he won the Oscar.
He won the Oscar. I'll give him.
But it is a very funny moment attached to otherwise a very dark and depressing movie. So it's
kind of funny.
Yeah, the juxtaposition is we noticed it for sure. Yeah. But
so Pianist came away with 3 Oscars. Yep. Director, actor, and I think maybe screenplay. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe music, because the music is very good too.
The music is very good.
So the other person I recognized on the list was Frank Finlay.
Yeah.
Who was a Shakespearean. Yeah. He's a Shakespearean actor that worked with Laurence Olivier back in the 60s. He got nominated for an Oscar back then.
So he's an old head.
He is an old head. Okay. And he's been in the business for a while. He was also in the best Three Musketeers adaptation ever, which is one in the 70s. Another one to the list. But I thought he went.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. I thought what was so interesting about this in terms of exposition is that they never really introduced.
They don't
the family as you know what I mean. Like they're just the family's there.
Yeah,
and it's just right in, and I mean we pick up right away. This is a family.
Yeah,
because they don't need to like say, oh, my sister. Blah, blah, blah.
It's like, him, his mother and father, his brother, and two sisters. Yeah.
I believe 2 sisters, but they never say.
Right.
That's like it could be cousin, but I think that was cool that they just trusted the audience to know, okay, this is family, and they're very tight knit, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that feeds into what I was saying about how the movie just starts and doesn't stop, and you kind of just have to. You have to put in the work as the audience member to like glean the information that the movie shows you, and you have to read a little bit deeper into certain things because the movie's not going to. I think I wrote some stuff down about how. I mean, like I put down how you feel so disoriented and unable to take a moment to truly let anything sink in. Because like, the movie doesn't want you to feel comfortable. It wants you to experience it as how these people did, which is, I mean, you start with the bombs dropping and then you go into stuff like the no Jews sign and then the armbands and stuff like that. And that happens in a sequence of like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pacing, one gripe I did have, I feel they faded to black a lot.
They did.
I didn't like that as much.
I wasn't a fan
I
of
feel that kind of took me in and out. I feel a couple hard
it felt
cuts.
it almost felt like a John Hughes movie sometimes, and I was like, that's not. Yeah. Maybe a better choice would have just been, because I really like the moments where it just cuts to the next scene.
Yeah.
I feel like that fit the style.
Crazily enough, I think it flows better when it's just boom, hard cut, instead of fade to black and then we're in somewhere else and then yeah.
For sure.
Just a little minor gripe I have.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean I texted you yesterday. I was like, dude, I'm 15 minutes in. I have so many things to say. Like, it's just,
I was like, oh boy,
it's such a visceral opening to the movie. And like,
and we should have clarified, neither of us are Jewish.
No.
So we don't even have.
We're looking at this from an outsider's
perspective.
And but I mean, the movie does such a good job of showing you what these people went through, and just it just lets these moments be what they are. And so like, I mean, going from the armbands into like seeing how the family is trying to navigate through these changes that they have no control over. Like, I think I wrote down about how them trying to deal with like how to handle the money is so, it feels like really alienating to be told you can only have this much money on you, period. And then they have to figure out how to hide the rest of their money from this regime. And it just, I mean, moments like that,
it's the little moments. Yeah.
And moments like that just made me, it pissed me off. And I was like,
it made it real.
Yeah. And you're thinking like, it goes back to the whole thing of like what enables people to treat other people like this. And that's why I think it's unknowable, because you can't really have a justifiable explanation for these kinds of actions. It's just, there's no way to label this kind of heinousness, for sure. But I mentioned that scene is it's nerve wracking, because you're like, I was putting myself in that situation of like, well, what would I do if I were told you can only have X amount of money, and this is all you get. This is all you get. And if we find out that you have more than this, then you're gonna pay for it. I'm gonna go a little further into the movie, but not with anything big.
Yep.
I noticed that there was a book that Henrik is Vladi's brother. And he was reading The Merchant of Venice, which is a Shakespeare piece that also deals with
Jews,
anti-Semitism. That's the thing where the pound of flesh mantra comes from, right? Yeah. So I think it's almost like holding up a mirror to the Nazis in a way.
Yeah.
I think it's just sort of, with the themes of that story and how, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling now.
No, you're not, dude. This is fine. You're fine.
Yeah. I feel, and I don't want to feel like I'm circling around myself with the talking points, but
we're good. We can jump ahead. I mean,
so I guess going from that, I wrote down only 12 and a half minutes in, and it's like, and it's been an onslaught of watching these people slowly lose their way of life. And I wrote down, like walking down the street and seeing people you've known, and I'm talking from the perspective of like Dorota, her character, like seeing somebody that she knows, and Vladi, and like him being treated as lesser, just walking down the street and seeing someone like him being treated as,
when, a year ago or however long it was, like he was just another person.
Exactly. Like what does that do to somebody like her? Like what is she, like what's she thinking in that moment? And I mean, that's gotta make you want to try and do something about it. And eventually she does. Yeah.
I think we should also say that the amount of non-Jews that helped these people was a lot. Yeah, for all I was saying, that there was a lot of anti-Semitism in Poland. There was a lot of people that were willing to risk their lives to help.
Yeah.
And I think they amalgamated. Am I saying that right? Amalgamated a lot of characters, like real people into one character. A lot of times.
Sure.
Because I think it was a lot of people that helped Spielman.
It had to
towards the end.
It had to be.
It was a the Polish underground.
Because imagine having to like hide that trail and hide it well
and hide a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty. Yeah, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I know. It's.
Yeah,
man.
Can we get to the Warsaw ghetto part? Because
actually that was
was it really
the very next part?
That's
because I think
you, buddy.
Them being walled into them being walled into the ghettos. That scene made me feel very claustrophobic.
It's crazy. It was uppers of like 430,000 people living in the equivalent of like a few small apartment complexes. Yeah, like 9 people to a room kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty. Oh my God, insane. And I've watched some interviews with people that had lived through that. Yeah. And one thing they said is it's fascinating what you get used to. You know what I mean? When that is your life, that's your life. Like dead people were lying on the streets.
That's something that I wrote down.
And you had to just watch. I mean, what are you going to do?
That's something that I wrote down that when I originally watched this movie, I didn't notice that. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, there's people who died of malnutrition, like just on the street. Yeah. And it's like they just walk over them. And
they have to.
But they have to. Right. And so.
And that became like like a part of their life. It was like that. Well, this is my life now.
Right. Because it's, and I guess from the perspective of the Jews, it's probably like, well, it's either I do what I'm told or I die. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people, and sometimes they did do what they were told and they still died anyway. Mm-hmm. And that's there's quite a few scenes in this movie that show that even though a lot of these people stayed in line, they were still killed.
It wouldn't matter
with no rhyme or reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's not forget a lot of the Jews in the ghetto, like became kind of compliant, like the police, like the Jewish police, right? That helped round up these people.
That's another aspect of the movie that I completely forgot about.
Too.
And I was like, oh, like, do the people not involved with the Jewish police, like, are they viewing these other Jewish people as traitors, or are they like what how do they feel about somebody of their own race, like basically treating them like garbage so they can stay alive? Mm-hmm. It just, and
because it's like they are traitors, but at the end of the day, it's like people do what they're going to do to survive, right? So they'll do if that's what it takes.
It's a dog eat dog world.
It is, and I think, especially during that time,
right? And do you think I don't remember the character's name, but the one who shows up to their apartment,
I forgot his name, but I know who you're talking about.
And he's like, "You guys should join," and they're like, "No," and he's like, "I'm telling you should join." Because he knows that
you should join the police,
right? Because he knows that it's probably the only way that they'll survive.
And another thing is the Poles, like at this time in the war, they didn't know if they were ever going to get freed again. Right? Like they didn't know if Poland was ever going to become
At that point, I don't think they knew about the camps either.
No, and that's interesting because they would, like, there's that scene, and here we go, we can jump ahead a little more. That when they shipped them out, it was for what they were saying, what they were told was it was labor camps.
Right.
But then it's when it started to come out that these people weren't coming back and it was extermination camps. That's when the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising started. When people were like, well, we're going to die anyway. We might as well die here with dignity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty insane. And I also, they made as more people got shipped out and more people died of malnutrition and stuff because, people were living on top of each other. Yep. They made the ghetto smaller. So like they would push them in closer at the less.
It's almost like,
the more people died.
What are but it reminded me of like those meat farms where they just pack all the pigs together like really closely, and they don't care about their living conditions or anything. And so, and on top of it, they brutalize these animals too.
Yeah. And if we could get to a technical part, I love the way that they shot the Ghetto Uprising part.
Yeah.
When it's a static shot, there's no movement, and it's just from the window.
Yep.
And they're all coming up.
It's from Bloody's.
This is from his POV, and so it's everything blows up, and then everybody goes in, and then it cuts to them being let out and getting executed. It's pretty insane. Yeah.
There's a lot of shots in this movie that are from the perspective of the window and like who's looking out the window. Mm-hmm. And I think the one I think about is where they raid that one apartment and they brutalize the residents of that apartment. And like, I mean, I could like, and that's probably why they shot it from that perspective, is because they wanted you to see how Vladi saw it and like his family sees it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
In that sort of situation. And like, and I really did forget how brutal this movie was, especially that moment where like, you know, they throw the old disabled man out the window and then they shoot the rest of them. And then they make them run first. They make them run first. And then they shoot the rest of them. And then they run over them when they exit. And it's like, you know, it makes me think about like,
it goes back to your theme.
It does go back to my theme, but it made me think about like violence in films and how like you can watch a movie like Django Unchained and the violence in that is very
Predator
and the violence
see how cartoonish it is.
And the violence in those movies is very fun. And like, you know, you're watching it and you're not like appalled by it. And then the violence in something like this, you're just,
it's real.
You have like a stomach ache just watching it. The violence in this, it makes you, it makes you pay attention. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think I told you yesterday, and I think I wrote it down in my notes, like this movie feels like a gaping wound. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, and it's constantly bleeding and it just doesn't stop. Mm-hmm.
That's a nice little metaphor.
Thank you.
Good.
I thought of that a lot.
This movie is a gaping wound,
but
love it.
Yeah. And, I guess we'll keep moving on, but like, I actually do want to touch on the scene where they are shipping all of them out. And
it's a great scene.
And that one Jewish officer, he grabs Lottie and he's like, get out of here.
And when he says, don't run.
Right.
That was something that happened to Roman Polanski. Not that exact situation, but like something along the lines of like, when you're going to like, don't run.
Yeah.
Like, which is smart advice if you're in that kind of situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, you slowly start to realize that his family is getting onto that train, and
that's the last time
they are not coming back.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And the way the train door shuts.
Yeah.
There's like a finality. It's just the screaming, and then boom.
Yep.
Silence.
And then instantly cutting into the scene where he's walking through the street. And that's another scene where I was just like, I really do feel like my read on my main theme of the movie is like, it just kept like hitting me over and over. Cause it's like, I mean, up until like the end, like the movie really does just show you how evil.
Yeah. But there's little things of humanity.
Right. Yeah. No, there are.
I thought was
and
nice.
I think closer towards
the ending.
The end,
which we'll get to.
Closer towards the end, like, you know, and you get to the character of Dorota later on in the 5-year time difference of like how she starts to become part of the underground and like starts to try and help Vladi and everything. And then eventually we'll get to Thomas Kretschmann and his character. But yeah, the movie still circles back around to there being a way out eventually. And, you know, even though it may seem like that there's no way out, there eventually is.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's a very, very heavy. This is a very heavy movie to talk about.
For some, yeah, it's rough. But and it's sad because for some there was a way out. For others, it was
right. Yeah,
think about for 6 million.
Yeah,
of them, it was not.
The odds were definitely.
Spielman was one of the exceptions to the rule. Yeah.
And then and then after that he finds himself in that work group, where I think they were able to work outside the ghettos. And that's how he was able to stay alive for a little bit longer, still under the thumb of the regime, but able to live. Yeah. And because that's where I think he meets up with that one guy who got them the work license. And then that's how he kind of starts getting involved with the underground and starts smuggling in weapons, which the scene of the Nazi officer coming in and checking that sack was nail biting. It's like, if he even dug a little deeper into that bag and found the gun, it's like, it's over.
I wonder if that happened for real. Like if that was a real thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
For the movie.
I'm sure that had to have. You mean the moment itself, or
that moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would assume that there were probably
close calls,
instances of the weapons getting smuggled in and like them almost getting caught. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure that happened.
Yeah.
And then eventually, Lottie finds a way to escape that situation. And he's basically going and trying to find a place to live, to hide. And I think he ends up in 2 different apartments. But that's how he comes back into contact with Dorota, and she's a part of the underground at that point. And they take him to the first apartment, and I believe the reason he leaves that apartment is because it was because he made the noise.
Dishes, yeah,
he made the noise, and then the neighbor,
that Karen.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was another moment too where I vividly remember that moment when I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
Because the way she screams at him is like, it's guttural, and it's like it almost feels animalistic the way she yells.
For a moment when I thought she was getting revealed, I thought it was going to be more sympathetic. Like it was going to be like...
I think there's maybe a tinge of it.
They teased it a little bit, and then it was like, you're a Jew.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from
this
here.
fucking bitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of... It's great. And she was probably... You know what? And what you mentioned before about Polish citizens being anti-Semitic before the Nazis arrived, maybe she might have been one of those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could have very well been that case. And then eventually he finds himself in apartment number 2. I thought about this after I finished watching the movie, but the movie, I feel like one of the very key parts of the movie is food. And not that not in a way where like you watch Iron Chef or something and you're like, that looks good. It's more about like they're constantly in a state of hunger, and
the stuff we take for granted.
Right.
We're like, yeah.
And I thought about it. I'm like, man, like they had to scrounge in order to just make themselves not hungry.
Sometimes I'll come back. I'll be like back from work and I haven't eaten all day, and I'm like,
I'm so hungry.
I'm starving right now. And it's like that isn't. And then
it's
not even close to what real hunger is.
Yeah, and then you see Vladi in his second apartment. And he's like taking, or I think it might have been the first apartment. He's like taking like crumbs out of the bag and just eating that, and like that's all he had.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. And then eventually he gets sick and he's bedridden for like days
because of the guy.
Right.
The Polish resistance guy that takes the money and runs and all that.
That was a guy where I was like,
I forgot him because did he show up earlier in the movie? Or was he a character earlier?
He mentioned that.
Yeah, they mentioned that they worked together, but I never saw him. I don't remember seeing him in the beginning.
That guy, I was like, you're a sleazeball. Yeah. Like I could tell.
Yeah. You can trust. Don't worry, you can trust him.
Right.
That was subtle foreshadowing.
And so after that, he leaves that second apartment because that's when the heavy artillery starts coming in, and the tank shows up and starts firing.
Can we talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the history part. I'm pretty excited about because I wish they had touched on it more.
Yeah.
But again, because they were going from only one person's perspective, they couldn't really cover a whole lot of what happened. So after the Warsaw Ghetto uprising, right, they razed the ghetto to the ground. Everybody that was in there was moved to extermination camps, even if they hadn't taken part. Right.
Right.
So it was after that the entirety of Warsaw was like, okay, the Nazis got to go.
Yeah.
And that's when the underground started building more and more, and the resistance kept going up. And a lot of it was called the Polish Home Army.
Yeah.
A lot of
is that the not to jump ahead, but is that the same? Because I remember the truck at the end that shows up.
Those are Russians.
Those are Russians. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Polish Home Army was like influenced, like given permission to go into effect by the Polish government in exile.
Right.
That was in England at the time. Just like France had a government in exile, they all like had these governments that were, not in their country.
Yeah.
So the Polish Home Army starts building up this force that's big enough, and we see it in the movie when that starts, when they attack the hospital. But that happened everywhere in Warsaw, and so the Germans were totally caught by surprise at first.
Yeah,
and they were like rushing because the Russians. The reason that the Polish did it in the first place was because the Russians were coming. Right, the Russians were on their way, and they were like, okay, this is our chance. Right. Because one of the reasons they wanted to uprise and get rid of the Nazis before the Russians got there was because if they were able to free their own capital, their own government can come back and they could be a free state. Yeah. But if the Russians freed them, then they'd be under Soviet control. Yeah. Which is what ended up happening.
Right. And they probably thought, well, better to be under control of the Russians than the Nazis, for sure.
That's definitely short term. I don't think they
might have not. Yeah.
Because and another thing we're forgetting was and this is what a lot of historians, what a lot of historians miss is that Poland was invaded by Russia and Germany. Let's not forget that it was from both sides
at the start,
at the beginning. Wow. And a lot of people gloss over that the Russians. It was called the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and so Stalin and Hitler had the treaty where they would be non-aggression, and they helped invade.
Yeah. I forget that they were buddies at one point.
They were buddies before they started the war, and that's really what killed Germany, was invading Russia. And so Russia had already kind of been in Poland, and so Poland knew that Russia were not good. Yeah. Sorry. And so this is all happening, and the Germany's like, okay, well, we got to act now, but all our good armies are fighting the Russians. Right. Like, we're losing bad on the Eastern Front. And at the same time, the Western allies are coming from France. They had already freed Paris. So this is all happening at once. And to solve it, they're like, okay, well, we got to get whatever we can. And so what they came up with was kind of the kind of the B units of the Waffen SS. Yeah. Do you know the difference between the SS and the Wehrmacht?
I feel like I should, but
it's fine. So there was the regular German army, the Wehrmacht, and then there was the SS. SS is the death camps people, right? Right. Oh, so there were three branches. There was the Gestapo, right, and then the concentration camp SS, and then there was the military branch, which was the Waffen SS, right. And they like both the Wehrmacht and the SS committed atrocities. But if you most of the atrocities were committed by the SS. They were the people that came up behind and killed all the anyway. Yeah. But so that's who they sent in to suppress this uprising. And they got like the bottom of the barrel guys. And so this is going to be another little tangent. So there was a guy, Nazi, and he might be the most evil Nazi ever. Really? And that's saying something, dude. Wait till you find out about this guy. So he was a World War I veteran. And
so he had a vendetta.
Yeah, but I mean, most of the German officers were already World War I veterans. Yeah. But this guy had, so after World War I ends, he joins the Nazi party, and then he gets arrested for raping a minor.
Jesus Christ.
Okay? Yeah. And gets kicked out of the Nazi party. Like, even Nazis are like, okay, well, you're gone. And I think he gets in again. Mm-hmm. He's able to get back in. He does it again, He rapes another minor.
Jesus Christ.
And then they put him into like a labor camp. But because he was a World War I veteran, he had friends that were in the SS, which was coming up at the time.
Right.
And so he like reached out to one of his friends from that served with him in World War I, and they were able to get him a position in like a lower branch because even the higher branch guys were like, okay,
this guy's bad news.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
But so right off the bat, you know that he's evil. Okay?
Right.
And so as the war is going on, they put him in charge of what had been poachers, people that had been convicted of poaching.
Right.
Were put into this unit called the Derlevanger Brigade. Mm-hmm. If you look this guy up, you like picture in your head what a Nazi pedophile looks like,
and he pops
him
up.
Whatever you have in your mind, it's that. It's crazy how evil he looks. But so they had this like contingent of poachers that was basically used for anti-partisan stuff. So if there was like a partisan uprising, like trains getting blown up, they would be okay. Go find them.
Right.
And they're poachers, so they're not disciplined soldiers, so they kept getting whittled down, and so they eventually had to like start grabbing people from everything. So they started getting convicts, like felons,
right?
People that had been kicked out of other units for what have you. So by the time of the Warsaw Uprising, you have like a group of like thugs, basically guys that like
they were the worst of the worst,
the worst of the worst, yeah, by far, and led by this like this sadist pedophile. Okay. And so that's just setting this up so they, according to like eyewitness from other German outfits, the Derling, like, I'm not going to say all of what they did because it wouldn't be good.
Right.
But they're like, they would like burn hospitals and like kill children. And like they left it was all the same to them. They would kill everybody. It got so bad that other SS officers and units were like, get these guys out of here. Like people that had committed war crimes, people that had committed their own atrocities were like, these guys have got to go. Like isn't
that crazy?
It's insane because, and it shows that like these guys, they're still human. Like there's these guys are like, okay, there's war crimes and then there's whatever these guys are doing.
That's fucking nuts.
And it got bad, and he still got awarded. Like he still got awarded for something, but like other SS guys went to Heinrich Himmler, who was the head of the SS, and was like, could you please move this guy? And eventually he was moved out because it was just, they started looting and like just doing stuff that had nothing to do with like suppression. Right. So that happened. And then he ended up getting awarded the Iron Cross for, that was their equivalent of the Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the war ends, he gets taken prisoner, and the doors open one night, and he was in Poland at the time, and Polish guards like went in and like beat him to death. Right. Which I wouldn't have any
sympathy for that. Sympathy. Yeah.
It's totally insane. And there were another unit also at this time was a guy named Bronislaw. I forgot his last name, Bronislav, who was in charge of like, he was kind of Russian. Yeah. And he was in charge of another brigade, kind of like the Derlevanger Brigade. Yeah. That it got so bad that he got executed because he was looting, and Himmler was like, that stuff belongs to the Nazi government and you're taking it. Yeah. So you're executed. So like, wow. you think about this. Now, the one thing that's interesting is that you got to keep in mind during the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, the people were thought of as partisans, which means they didn't adhere to the rules of the Geneva Convention. Okay. So which means that they could be shot. Like they could be like, okay, well, you're a civilian disobeying the law. You need to be executed. Right. Keep in mind, this is the Polish Home Army that instigates this uprising. Yeah. And Germany like recognizes them as a home army, which means they have to be like treated as prisoners of war. Yeah. When they get captured. So 2 months into the Warsaw Uprising, it doesn't go well. The Germans are like using people as human shields. So they're losing the city, and the Russians stop. They like stop their advance. and wait because they hear about what's happening and they're like, and it's come
They're
out
like, we can use this to our
exactly.
advantage.
It came out years later that Stalin was like, stop. We got to wait for this to die down so that we can come in and take over.
Yep.
When they could have easily like sent in supply, they didn't allow American or English planes to fly supplies into the army. They wouldn't let them land in Russian airfields, which would make sense. They had to cross over. They couldn't fly back. So that all happened. And you know, what's going to happen when you're not getting supplies, you're fighting in the sewers, basically. There's some really good Polish film from the 50s that were like directed by guys that were veterans of the Polish resistance. That's really good. I'll send you.
Like in the actual trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, this is gonna kill me. I have it on DVD. Ashes and Diamonds. Ashes and Diamonds is one by this Polish director that's very good. It's about the last days of World War II. And then it's a trilogy, and the second one in the trilogy is about some people fighting in the sewer, and it's not as violent as Pianist, but it's very like raw.
Yeah, it's raw
because it's made by somebody that was there.
Right.
So 2 months go by, the Warsaw Uprising gets crushed, but because of get recognized as an army, they don't get executed. They get they become prisoners of war and get shipped off to wherever. Now, a lot of historians think if that it was 1941 or 42, they would not have been treated as prisoners of war. A lot of people think because some of the Germans saw that they were losing on both sides. They were like, okay, well, if we execute these people, that's really bad. Because the concentration camps are being discovered. Right. So all these war crimes are being found out, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're in trouble. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, that's my little history. No, that's spiel.
Good. I mean, that
stuff fascinates me.
It puts a lot of moments in this movie into perspective of like why things happened the way they did, for sure. But yeah, I guess going into the final like stretch of this movie, the last, I would say maybe like 30 to 40 minutes. That's another part of the movie where I was like, I absolutely remember everything that happened in the last like 30 to 40 minutes.
I love the last half hour.
You're watching, and I was about to get into it earlier, but like the state of Vladi in that last stretch, he's almost unrecognizable. Yeah. Cause he's like, well, I think he's got a bad leg. And
he does that thing with his mouth.
Yeah. He's kind of like, fiddling around with his mouth, and he's got the full beard and his hair's all grown out, and it's like, it's the same character you've seen throughout the whole movie, but he's just
a shell,
completely changed. Yeah. And I mean, there's moments where I was just like just watching this guy survive no matter the consequences. And I mean, there's the moment that I remembered from my first viewing where he drinks the dirty water out of the bucket. I was just like, man, I mean, is this something that like I could do to try and survive? Like
I think about this sometimes. Like, what would I do to survive? Right. Like you hear about people like the Donner Party having to eat people. Yeah. And you're like, you think about that and you're like, oh, I would never do something like that. Like, I've never been in a situation where I would like.
Or the Miracle of the Andes.
Yeah, that's another one. That's the one I was thinking of. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Miracle, like you eat your friend, like. Yeah. Well, you don't think you do it, but how far would you go?
How far are you willing to go to keep yourself alive? Yes. Yeah. And yeah, so I remember him staying in that hospital. I don't remember if the movie really tells you how long he stayed in that hospital for. My guess is probably a few days.
Yeah, probably not too long.
And then he moves on from the hospital because it's getting burned, because they had the flamethrower troops go in and start burning the place. And then he finds himself in the bombed out remains of, my guess is the more upper class part of the city.
That's a great shot. When it goes over and it lifts up.
And every building is still like really pale. Yeah, it's a really wonderful shot. And then he finds himself in one of the mansions. He's looking for food, and he finds a jar. I think they're pickles, or I couldn't quite tell. But he finds a jar. He keeps trying to find out different ways to open the jar. He finds a part of the attic to stay in, to hide, and then and I think a day passes, and he goes back downstairs to try and open the jar again. And he takes some of the he takes like a fire poker and some of the tools that you normally see at a fireplace, and he tries to open the jar that way, and ends up slipping out of his hands. And I remember the shot again very
This
very
is my
vividly,
favorite shot in the movie,
where the jar rolls across the ground and the water spilling out of it, and then it just slowly pans up and you see the boots of this Nazi officer, and you're just thinking to yourself, fuck, like, how is he going to get out of this one? And I think that the dynamic between Vladi and this Nazi officer
what's his name? Fondahelm?
Hosenfeld.
Hosenfeld. Yes, that's right. Who's a real person.
Yeah. That dynamic is infinitely fascinating.
It's beautiful.
Because this whole movie, you've been shown that these people are like inhuman, and they are willing to just brutalize this other group of people, and they don't care. And then you are shown one of these people who has a heart and is willing to keep this person safe, who they are obligated to kill on sight.
Well, and it goes to show that, like, not all, keep in mind, Nazis were a party. They were a political party. Right. You know, like if a Democrat starts a war and you're a Republican and you go to war, it doesn't make you a Democrat. It just means, you know.
Right.
So I think Hauptmann, say the last name one more time. Hosenfeld. A real person actually did this, was one of those that it wasn't a Nazi. He was a German. He wasn't a Nazi per se. And he was one of the Wehrmacht. You can tell by the what he's wearing. He's not SS. If he was SS, it wouldn't have ended that way. But because he was Wehrmacht and, you know, a person with humanity. I wonder, is he the person that plays the piano? Do you know the part when the music is playing when he's up in the attic?
Oh,
I've always thought.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. I thought that was
been a pianist.
I didn't think. For some reason, I did not think that moment of music was diegetic.
It might not have been.
Yeah, I thought that was because I could have just been in his head. Because there's plenty of moments in this movie where Vladi's thinking about playing the piano. Yeah. And
the way it sounds distant, though, I thought it might have been coming from the house, and that's why when he's like, "Oh, I'm a pianist,"
right?
Okay, well, show me.
Right.
It's like maybe he played the piano a little.
That could be it. Maybe
it makes you think. Yeah. I don't know, but that's probably my favorite part of the movie, when the reveal, and then that beautiful moment when he's trying to play with these fingers that haven't played. And
I wrote down.
Go ahead.
I wrote down that Vladi playing the piano at the end of the movie is like his declaration of defiance, of like, I've survived this long.
Mm-hmm. You talking about at the very end, or like in that moment?
In that moment in the mansion, because it's his like release, because he's been thinking.
Yes, and he doesn't know if he's going to get shot right after this.
Right, and he's been thinking this whole time of like just being able to play again. And there's that moment earlier on in the movie where he's in the second apartment. Yeah, and the piano's there, and he's like, he wants so badly to just be able to express himself again, but he can't. Yeah. He can't do it.
And this is his release.
This is his,
this is the climax of the movie, right?
Right. This is his moment of triumph.
It's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And played very well. Yeah. Right. Thomas Kretschmann plays, after this, he kind of got a little typecast.
He was also in King Kong.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. He was. And he also got typecast as German officers in a lot of movies after this. He was in Valkyrie with Tom Cruise.
He's that Nazi guy.
Yeah. He was in a few others, but he plays it well, and he's a good actor.
But but I think about the last few minutes of the film where they keep cutting back to Hosenfeld after the Germans lose, and he's
I love that.
In the exact same position that Vladi was. Well, not the exact same position, but he's in a very similar position that Vladi was earlier on in the invasion of Poland, where he's basically being held against his will. And he's calling out for help. Yeah. And it does make you think about, like, you know, it's not, you know, not only are the Nazis capable of treating other people as lesser than, but like maybe we all are.
The Russians were not much better,
right?
In terms of, like, that's why during the end of the war, right, when the Russians were coming to Berlin, like everybody was going to the West to get to the Western allies, to the Americans and the British, because they knew Russia was gonna mess them up big time. They did, yeah. And like as we see in the movie, like the people that were captured by the Russians, a lot of them didn't make it. Yeah. Like,
I mean, Stalin's kill count was like.
Yeah, Stalin was awful to his own people. Yeah, like, so. Yeah, it's insane what people like. Yeah, there were no good guys in terms of the Eastern Front, in terms of Russia and Germany. It was just a lot of war crimes on both sides. But either or, anyway, I think it's beautiful, and it's to, like, both their, like, in real life, like Spielman, who didn't know his name, like when he found out that he was still alive, he like tried to help him, like went out of his way to help him. I think, but then it was too late. It
definitely highlights the humanity within Vladi, and even though this person was a part of a regime that sought to kill people like him, that he was willing to help this person who helped him. You know, and but I think that it's just an interesting. It's such an interesting part of the movie because, like I said, the entire first 2 hours of the movie, you're shown that this regime is like willing to do anything to wipe these people out, and then you're shown this one who,
and it just goes to show they're all human in their own way. Yeah, but just choose to push their humanity underneath and commit atrocities.
And it does highlight a whole other part of the Nazi party where there were Nazis in that party that definitely understood that what they were doing was wrong, but they, you know, they were in a situation where if they didn't comply with their leaders, then they would get killed too.
Yeah, and that was the defense they used in the Nuremberg trials. Right. Like, oh, we were just following orders. Right. We didn't know. Which, right. You know, it's
that's a messy
rough. It's a rough defense. It's not a good defense.
Yeah, it's not. But I mean, you know, it does highlight the messiness of, because I mean, you think about, you know, there are always questions like, where it's like, oh well, if you were in America in the 1800s and owned slaves, would you do anything about it or something like that? And so, you know, this is a sort of a similar-ish situation where, you know, oh, if you were in 1940s era Germany and, you know, what would you do? Yeah. And so, and I'm sure that there were people who wanted to revolt and do something about it, but
they did. They tried to assassinate Hitler.
Right. No. Yeah. So, but there, you know, there were people who felt like if they tried to do anything, then they would pay horribly for it.
And a lot of them did.
And a lot of them did do. So it's yeah, as like I said, this is humanity's darkest moment for sure. Like
in modern history, I feel.
Yes.
And it's crazy how if you think about it, it's not that far off. It's not even 100 years ago.
Nope.
So there are people that experience the Holocaust that are still alive
today. Yeah.
Which blows my mind. So yeah, I think that your theme is pretty good. That, you know,
I think both
true
of
hate
our
is not far off. Yeah.
Yeah. I think both of our reads on the movie, they
true hate. The true hate is there, but the humanity, the shines through.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
Yeah. There's the hope at the end.
There is, yeah. I think, and that's what but what I really do like about the ending is that it does show you that, you know, these people will find a way eventually. You know, and whether it's a case of luck, because you think
in a lot
about
of cases it is.
Well, I think there's a line that Holstenfeld tells Vladi where he's like, God made us made our paths cross with each other. And so you could either read that as Vladi being lucky, or maybe something divine did happen that day. And it was meant to be. Yeah. So it's a movie that, I mean, this movie is just endlessly interesting to think about. Yeah, I'm really glad I got to rewatch it again. Yeah. Especially with what, I guess 13, 14 years of separation from the first time I watched it.
Yeah. And I hadn't seen this movie, which is crazy because this is another of my dad's favorite movies.
Really?
I went over the house and I told him, and my dad.
He probably doesn't watch it very often though, does he?
No.
Yeah. It's not one of those.
But you know, my dad kind of instilled this love of history. Like that's where I got my love of history.
Okay. Yeah.
And he has, because when we lived in Europe, he would go around, and keep in mind this is the early to mid 2000s. So there was a lot, there were more people from that time still alive. Yeah. And he actually has banknotes, like paper money from the ghetto that they used as currency. Yeah. He has a lot of that stuff. He has a lot of, foreign currency and older currencies like that. And yeah, this was one of his favorite movies. And I watched part of it with him, and he was kind of like telling me some stuff about, Poland and what he remembers about that time. It's a great movie. Yeah, I recommend it. Yeah. Do you have any more notes before we?
No, I mean, the very last thing I wrote was, now that Hosenfield is the one trapped and held hostage. It's almost I did write this down as like, it's almost a moment of Schadenfreude, and maybe not for Vladi, but for some of the other Jewish people.
What do you mean?
Because they see that the Germans are being held captive, and they're like, and some of the Jewish people who see them held captive are like, yeah, now you know how it feels. Mm-hmm. And so it's probably very satisfying for some of them to see this happen.
But even then, the guy that like hears that oh, I know Spielman, I helped him, is like, oh, I guess I gotta I gotta go tell Spielman this. Yeah.
But then I wrote down that how will Vladi like react to the news of Holzenfeld being held captive, and we see that. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I also recommend this movie. This is not a movie that I would see myself rewatching anytime soon. It's very, very heavy, and it's extremely powerful. It's raw, it's visceral. I feel like my metaphor of the gaping wound is like, it's apt. Like it's a movie that feels alive. Mm-hmm. And it shows you everything without making you look away. Mm-hmm. It forces you to see everything happening. Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, that's it.
What time are we at?
I think this is our longest one yet. Yeah, we're almost an hour 30.
Jeez.
We had to say, sorry, guys. We said a lot though. And I mean, there was a lot.
You're still here with us.
Yeah, there was a lot to go over. So yeah, I knew we were going to hit an hour 30 one day. So
I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
I didn't think it was going to be this soon either. But I think that it's a movie that kind of deserves to be talked about. Yeah, that much for sure. Yeah. Are we ready to figure out what is next up on the docket?
Yes, indeed.
All right. I got to go to Google Sheets. Siri, pick a number between 2 and 429.
It's 220.
220. What movie is that? I have a feeling it's going to be a sequel.
Here's what I found.
Shut the fuck up. I feel like it's going to be a sequel. That's how I feel like it's going to turn out in my head. Actually, no. 220 is Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl.
Talk about another 180.
I know, dude. It's the beauty of the list.
The beauty of the list.
The beauty of the list. We go from The Pianist to Pirates of the Caribbean.
This ought to be interesting.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think we're gonna go an hour 30 on this one.
Another all-time banger though, for sure.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you think it's a guilty pleasure?
You don't have to feel guilty to like
I
it.
don't
dude.
feel guilty.
And we're going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Next week. Tune in. Can't wait.
Yeah. Oh man. What a can I have a little bit of a postmortem for this episode?
Sure.
And say that I love that our selection of films so far has been so radically different.
Yep.
From every one of them.
I like it too.
And it's you can you go from Gladiator to Sunset to Predator to this to Pirates of the Caribbean. That's why that's one of the reasons why I love doing this show.
And that's why movies are great.
Yeah.
Love it,
man. So,
all right, everybody.
I guess that's it. Thank you for tuning in and listening. I think this is another really great episode. There was a lot to talk about. It's a much heavier episode for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't too drab and too dark.
Yeah.
We really want to have fun talking about these movies, but sometimes it'll get a little too a little too dark. But we'll try to make the best of it. But yeah, another good episode in the books, man.
Boom. Love it.
All right, take care, guys. Thank y'all.
Goodbye.
He's alive, right? Alive.
Take care, guys.
How can I drag this out for longer than it should be?
So long. I was like, oh Jesus, you really want to say goodbye.
No Irish goodbyes for me.
You're gonna know I'm leaving.